Germs do not exist in the superconscious or divine mind. That's why when you're with Jesus, you can't get sick. Or if you're Thoth, you can't get sick. When you're with Buddha, you're going to hold these higher. That's why people seek out these healers, because they're wanting to move into those higher vibrational states where we know in our hearts disease, sickness doesn't exist. Hello, and thank you for joining me on 8 I Am Maggie, where we are going through the wonderful works of Florence Scovel Shinn, her complete works. We are just having a blast of a time. And let's see, we are in the book Casting the Burden. So I wanted to just say, as we are all warming up into the hot seat of our beautiful lives manifest and materialized, I want to keep reminding you that positive thoughts and positive music and positive environments and positive words of encouragement, which is what we're doing here. So I want to just throw this at you. Sing this in your heart. It is well with my soul. It is well. It is well with my soul. Okay, just let that tune marinate and just lift your spirit up. If you are just facing some kind of challenge, we've got the stories, we've got Florence Shinn's tools and points, but if you hit a roadblock and you're starting to feel like I am all alone, I want you to think about me. And I want you to think of that song. And I want you to just, if you need to say it in your mind or sing it in your heart, and I want you to just go to it immediately. It is well. Because we are whatever we say we are. With my soul. And you just let this tune carry you. And also, it's always good to go on to Amazon Prime or any of them. Mahalia Jackson, she knocks it out. But Aretha Franklin too, she will bring it to you. So I want to encourage you as we go into finishing up casting our burdens. I want you to spend some very special time finding us, using that tune, but also using something that maybe resonates in your heart that will break you out of that negative pattern onto the positive pattern. So here we go. Okay, Jesus showed active faith when he commanded the multitude to sit on the ground before he gave thanks for the loaves and the fishes. I wish I could just look into your eyes all the time. When I'm looking at my videos, I love making that eye contact with you, each and every one of you, in earshot of my voice. Be encouraged. This is your sign right here and right now that things are changing for you for the better. So keep moving in that positive direction. Okay, so I will give another example of how necessary this step is. So what is the step? This step is active faith she's speaking of, okay? Okay, I've been listening to Reverend Ike, and he was talking about Peter, James, and John. Peter, faith; James, right judgment; and John, love. So we are activating all of these positive energies, and we are activating active faith because we are casting our burdens and we are letting go and letting God. So here we go. I'm giving another example of showing how necessary this step is. What's that step? Active faith. I want to hear in the comments how you are actively walking in faith. I have been receiving some of the most beautiful comments of the growth and development and changes in your life. So I want to hear how you are moving, shaking with your active faith and faith in. Okay. In fact, active faith is the bridge over which man passes into the promised land. Through misunderstanding, a woman had been separated from her husband, whom she loved deeply. He refused all offers of reconciliation and would not communicate with her in any way. Coming into the knowledge of spiritual law, she denied the appearance of separation. So are you hearing this? She said to the 3D, no way. She made the statement, there is no separation in divine mind. Therefore, I cannot be separated from the love and companionship which are mine divine right. Do you get this? It's your divine right to walk in these spiritual laws and speak the life that you wish to live. So, she showed active faith by arranging a place for him at a table every day. Listen to this. She made a place for him at the table every day, thereby impressing the subconscious with a picture of his return. I know many of you have active faith like this. I want to hear it in the comments. Tell me how you are activating your faith. How are you walking in faith so I can walk in faith with you? So, over a year passed. Listen to this. Be faithful. Over a year passed, but she never wavered. And then one day, he walked in. Woo! You hearing that? One day he walked in. The subconscious is often impressed through music. Oh my goodness. Oh, I was just impressed with this before I did the video. The subconscious is often impressed. This is confirmation. This is for not just me, many of you. The subconscious mind is often impressed through music. My music has a fourth dimensional quality and releases the soul from imprisonment. It makes wonderful things seem possible and easy of accomplishment. Oh my goodness. Yes. Okay. I know that I am not alone in needing or appreciating that encouraging vibration. And here it is. You are all going to be working on the music. Okay. The subconscious mind is often impressed through music. My music has a fourth dimensional quality and higher actually. Releases the soul from imprisonment. We know that because a song can transport us to somewhere else. Like if you hear a song when you were like, okay, a lot of you guys are spring chickens, you're 20. But if you hear a song of when you were 3, you go back to another place. If you're 50 and you hear a song at 20, you go back to another place. If you're 90 and you hear a song from when you're 15, you are transported to another place. Let the music transport us in these weeks. Okay, so it makes wonderful things seem possible and easy of accomplishment. Okay, I have a friend who uses her Victrola daily for this purpose. It puts her in a perfect harmony and releases the imagination. Another woman often says, story. Another woman often dances while making her affirmations. Oh, I can get with that. The rhyme and the harmony of music and motion carry her words forth with tremendous power. Yes, amen. So, it is well with my soul. And I could do a lot more moving if I wasn't in this chair, but I find the chair helps. Okay, so the rhythm and the harmony and the emotion carry her words forth with tremendous power. The student must remember also not to despise the day of small things. Okay, that's key with our active faith too. You have to have that vision locked in on, so when you are walking through the trenches, the valleys, the small things, as they say, your eye is on the prize. So invariably, before demonstrations come, signs of land. Before Columbus reached America, okay, can't discover something that is already been discovered, but anyway, before Columbus reaches America, he saw birds and twigs which showed him land was near. So it is with a demonstration. We are doing it right here on this channel. We are going to demonstrate on this channel through the support of all you beautiful people, and Brand My Tube with Benzie Darling, with Brian Scott, Renee Garcia, Josiah Brandt, Lisa, OK Godman, Gil, Dale, the momentum is going. But anyway, so we are going to demonstrate. So it is with demonstration, but often the student mistakes it for the demonstration itself and is disappointed. Okay, so You gotta hang in, keep your eye on the prize. For example, and also too, if it's not exactly what you want at first, you gotta hang on for what God has in store for you, because it is an exciting thriller. Like when you watch a movie, a lot of you want to be held in suspense. Our lives are no different. Sometimes it's not going to go as smoothly, but God has the better plan. So, for example, story: a woman had spoken the word for a set of dishes. Not long afterward, a friend gave her a dish which was old and cracked. Okay, you see disappointment trying to creep in and talk poo-poo. She came to me and said, "Well, I asked for a set of dishes and all I got was a cracked plate." Ooh la la. I replied, Florence Scovel replied, "The plate was only signs of land. It shows your dishes are coming." Look upon it as birds and seaweed. And not long afterwards, the dishes came. So I am going to profess and speak into this moment right here and right now. My channel is going to have millions of subscribers. It is going to blow up. We are going to reach all the corners of the earth. And we are all going to be in that new earth social memory complex, doing our gifts, dreams, goals, visions, acts of service. We are not going to keep sitting in the background. We are going to move, shake, and bring our gifts forward. All of us. And I'm speaking into this moment. My channel will be successful. My classes will be successful. My book will be successful. My community will be successful. We are bringing it. Okay, so continually make believing impresses the subconscious. If one makes believe he is rich, and makes believe he is successful, in due time he will reap. Okay, so we are all right here and right now claiming our richness, large sums of money. We are so happy and grateful now that large sums of money flow to us with ease. Okay, we're going to be doing Brian Scott's affirmation. But okay, children are always making believe. And except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall never enter the kingdom of heaven. And think about that. Think about how children, their hearts are so pure and innocent, and they are literally just wells of joy. And you can literally transport yourself into another time when you are around the innocence and purity and joy of a beautiful child. And when you go with them, it's like the first time they touch the ocean, there's awe and wonder. The first time they see Christmas, there's awe and wonder. The first time they eat certain foods, there's awe and wonder. And sometimes, but it's still an adventure. So we want to claim our childlike innocence as we are going to be entering the kingdom of heaven. So, for example, story. I know of a woman who was very poor, but no one could make her feel poor. Oh yes, she just strutted her thing. She earned a small amount of money from rich friends who constantly reminded her of her poverty and to be careful and saving. So be careful, you blah. You're a big pop. No. Regardless of their admonitions, she would spend all her earnings on a hat or make someone a gift or be in a rapturous state of mind. Her thoughts were always centered on beautiful clothes and rings and things, and she did this without envying others. Okay, so you can claim all. God has endless goodness for all of us. So here we come. She lived in the world of the wondrous, and only riches seemed real to her. But before long, she married a rich man. So she was seeing the before signs of land. Before long, she married a rich man, and the rings and the things became visible. I do not know whether the man was the divine selection, but opulence had to manifest in her life as she had imagined only opulence. Take that to the bank of your heart and your mind aligned. God has great plans for you, but unless you get in the cockpit of your helicopter, airplane, boat, car, whatever, and start driving in the direction, the universal infinite spirit can't get behind you. So you gotta move. So there is no peace or happiness for man until he has erased all fear from the subconscious. So no fear. And even if you have fear, feel the fear and do it anyway, like that book says. If you walk through the fear, eventually your fear will turn into courage. Just keep walking along that vibrational band from the fear into the courage, and you'll be walking into higher vibrations all around. So fear is misdirected energy and must be redirected or transmuted into faith. Another thing, sometimes if you feel fear or you're feeling anxiety and you just do your little song, "It is well with my soul," and you start to realize it is well with my soul, and you start to say, I'm not going to be afraid or anxiety. I'm going to realize this is some excitement. This is some energy for me to overcome my challenge. And then that's what we do. We move, shake, and we get in there. Okay, so Jesus Christ said, "Why are ye fearful, O ye of little faith? All things are possible to him that believeth." So what must we do? We must believe it. We must have that act of faith, no matter what the world is trying to tell us. Like, no matter the cracked plate, or no matter the hoopty, or no matter like what your clothes look like now, or whatever it, or what your job is, we have to hold that vision. Without vision, my people perish. So we're going to keep the vision of our success, of our health, of our wealth, of our care, acts of service to others. We are not going to hold these poopy, lame, low vibrational states. Get excited, because you are exactly what the world needs. So here we go. I replied by walking up to the first thing. So all things are possible to him or her who believeth. And I am asked so often by my students, okay, Florence, how can I get rid of fear? I reply, by walking up to the thing you are afraid of. Whew, ain't that the truth, right? Okay. The lion takes its fierceness. Oh, wow, this is good. The lion takes its fierceness from your fear. Okay, the other thing we know about spiritual warfare, so do the demons. So does the darker energies. It will power off your fear. There is no power unless we give it power. So walk up to the lion and he will disappear. Run away and he runs after you. Yeah, pit bulls too, right? You got to stand and you got to hold your ground. What is that? Active faith. And you got to believe and trust. And you have to, the body has to vibrate this field. None of this baloney can take root in your field if you're holding in that state, in a powerful state of active faith. So like Peter, faith, James, right judgment, John, love. And you're going to be holding that all together, and then you will be with Jesus on the Mount Transfiguration. So I have shown in previous chapters how the lion of lack disappeared when the individual spent money fearlessly, showing faith that God was his supply and therefore unfailing. So Florence is not, and me either, we are not telling you to go out there and be frivolous and not be responsible. But we do know that when we give, that law of reciprocation, it's coming back to you. So you give with all your heart, this pure heart, not this like, I'm going to give this and I'm going to get that. It's like, I'm going to give this from my heart. Like if you have a hard time, you're going through a hard time, and you have that hard time maybe buying that thing, go and take that money to help somebody. Like there are so many people in the community. There are single mothers and single fathers who are raising children who need school supplies, shoes, clothes. You don't even need to tell them who you are. You can just get these things, or you can just give money anonymously. You can do it through your churches. You can do it through your communities. There are so many elderly that are locked in their houses. It's the summer, it's hot as heck, and they are melting in there. They can't afford to pay bills. They don't have food. There's all kinds of things going around us. And I know many of you are doing this already, but some of you are taking this up and doing this act of faith. If you can't do it for yourself right now, find somebody else that you can help. There is this Dr. Wayne Dyer, I can't remember the name of the guy, but he said if you are depressed or suicidal, the thing that will cure you is get up out of your house, walk across the train tracks, so somewhere in the mainland or somewhere where train tracks are always. Walk across the train track, find somebody who is in worse shape than you and help them. And it'll neutralize, cancel out, gone will be the depression and suicide. There is a great movie coming out by angel.com. They did The Sound of Freedom, and they're doing this other one, and it's really funny, like this lady who was an alcoholic, and she's trying to make her life worth something, and she finds a father with a child with cancer and decides it is her mission from God to help them pay for the medical bills. And I can't wait to see it. It's based on a true story. When I get the title, I'll let you know. But this is what I'm talking about. Don't be depressed. Don't stay in anxiety. Do not stay in suicide, because I'm telling you, every single one of you is needed in such a time as this. There is no person that is exactly the same. Each one of you has something unique. Sure, we might be vibrating in certain things. Like we might all have blue nails. We might all have a purple shirt. We might have green eyes. We might have black hair. We might have gray hair. Whatever it is. The bottom line is you're still unique. There is something about you that nobody else has. So you got to get out there and do this, because the world is needing this. People need to see you shine, and we need to connect in our shining so we can shine brighter. Oop, hi angels. Okay, so in previous chapters, I showed how the lion of lack disappeared when the individual spent money fearlessly, showing faith that God was his supply and therefore unfailing. And that's right, God is our supply. When you really nail that into your heart and mind align, you will walk so boldly. Even if you're scared, you will still walk boldly, because you know you will be provided for, and that God's is unfailing. And also, he's got unlimited resources. Ooh la la. Okay, so many of my students have come out of the bondage of poverty and are now bountifully supplied through losing all fear of letting money go. The subconscious is impressed with the trust that God is the giver and the gift. Therefore, as one is one with the giver, he is one with the gift. He and she is one with the gift. A splendid statement is, are you ready? Florence is bada 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 up. I now thank God, the giver, for God, the gift. I now thank God, the giver, for God, the gift. God is the giver and the gift. Okay, I like that one better. But anyway, work it. If you do the work will do you. We are all letting it land different ways in our tukuses, and we got this. So, man has so long separated himself from his good and his supply through thoughts of separation and lack. Sometimes it takes a dynamite to dislodge these false ideas from the subconscious, and the dynamite is the big situation. Okay, let's try that again. Blah, blah, blah. But man has so long separated himself from his good or her good, and his or her supply, through thoughts of separation and lack. Okay, so negative thinking and just putting yourself in poo-poo situations, right? Sometimes and music, we're going to listen to good music, that sometimes it takes dynamite to dislodge these false ideas from the subconscious. And the dynamite is a big situation. We see in the foregoing illustration how the individual was freed from his bondage by showing fearlessness. So man should watch himself hourly to detect if his motives for action is fear or unfaith. So there is research. I don't have the exact numbers, but I know that we have thoughts that recycle in the thousands and thousands. And if you start just carrying a little notepad with you and writing down, what is my brain serving up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and break time? Just write it down, because what you're going to find as you begin to write down what you got rotating through, you're going to realize it is a record on repeat. So when we are using that dynamite to break out that subconscious mind, when we get to the core of what those bullshit records it's playing, we're going to go right in there with the dynamite, pull out the root, and your life is going to be transformed. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And this is why we need to keep working in these positive texts, in the Bible, in whatever you are finding that is bringing your mind into these positive states, right? Meditation, dance, whatever it is. So, man should watch himself hourly to detect his motivation for action. Is it fear or faith? So I want to encourage you, write down your thoughts. Try to do it hourly or when things pop out. You don't need to have a big, you can even put on your phone, right? You got notes, but you will start to notice after a while, holy camoli, that thought has been repeated the whole day. And you'll find themes in what's going on in there. So let's make our minds work for us. So choose ye this day whom we shall serve, fear or faith. And what did we say? Faith! Okay, perhaps one's fear is a personality. They do not avoid the people feared. Be willing to meet them cheerfully, and they will either prove golden links in the chain of one's good or disappear harmoniously from one's pathway. Perhaps one's fear is of disease or germs. How relevant in a time such as this. Then one should be fearless and undisturbed in a germ-laden situation, and he would be immune. Okay, so I want you to hear that again, because this is very important in this world now, because we can train our minds that we cannot get sick. We are healthy more so. So perhaps one's fear is of disease or germs. Then one should be fearless and undisturbed in a germ-laden situation, and we will be immune. So I'm calling that in for all of us. So that's right now, right here, right now. We are all immune to sickness and disease of any kind. Take that to the bank. Okay, one can only contract germs while vibrating, listen to this, while vibrating at the same rate as the germ. And the fear drags man down and woman down into the levels of the germ. So think about that. How do they get in your head? It's fear. You're going to get blah, 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 blah. And there's all this and you're so, all of a sudden your mind is only focused on, oh my gosh, right? Now, there are certain things we have to have balance in. Sometimes we are confronted by rough situations in the 3D. That doesn't mean ignore it. But it's also like if we train our minds, we can become superhuman in the sense that we can train our body to overcome anything. Now I'm going to share this with you. This is real and it's happening now. The water in Hawaii, our largest aquifer on the island of Oahu, is become poisoned by the Navy, and it has made many, many, many people sick, seriously ill, especially the children. There's all kinds of things, thyroids, cancers, skin conditions, very not good things. Many, many children harmed through this. Okay, so is this a situation where I'm going to just ignore what someone is? No. But I'm still going to stand in the gap, holding for their health, their wealth, and everything good. And for them, their mindset to rise up so that they can be immune to the toxins that are being served out in this water. So on that note, pray for Hawaii. Hold us in your heart, because we are going to be lifting this situation out of that place. Okay, so one can only contract germs while vibrating at the same rate as the germs. So we got to watch what company we keep, right? The fear drags men and women down into the level of the germ. Of course, the disease-laden germ is the product of the carnal mind, and all thought must objectify. Germs do not exist in the superconscious or divine mind. That's why when you're with Jesus, you can't get sick. Or if you're thoth, you can't get sick. When you're with Buddha, you're going to hold these higher. That's why people seek out these healers, because they're wanting to move into those higher vibrational states where we know in our hearts disease, sickness doesn't exist. Evil doesn't exist, right? But we're doing this now as a whole planet. Everybody is responsible for the upgrade that is going on right now. So I don't care if you think your job is not important. I'm here to tell you right now, your job is super important. Whatever it is, do it to the best of your ability, because you are changing the world one act at a time. So germs do not exist in the superconscious or divine mind. Therefore, we are the product of man's vain imagination. In the twinkling of an eye, man's release will come when he realizes there is no power in evil. Whew. Okay, this is really a whopper. Hear this again, especially in this time. In the twinkling of an eye, man's release will come. When is our release coming? When we realize there is no power in evil. The material world will fade away, and the fourth dimension world, the world of the Wondrous, will swing into manifestation. This is what is going on right now. Revelations talks about it. Every single healing platform knows we are in this process right now of moving into another dimension. And if you're vibrating low, you're going to go through like a hell-like state. And if you are vibrating high, you get to be in a good state. So hang high. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. I cannot express to you how much you are loved beyond measure, you are important beyond measure, and you have something very special to do. You are part of bringing heaven to earth. You are part of an amazing plan. So I would love to hear in the comments what that is and what tools or what part of casting your burden spoke to you and moved you. Now, I want to thank you so much for joining me. It uplifts me a lot to have a beautiful community such as you, and to just be in here making these videos, having the support of Benzie Darling with Brand My Tube. Go check him out. You can see in my videos, bing, and check him out. Follow him up if you're looking to improve your videos. But there is a huge community. I've got the Reality Revolution backing me. I've got the International Reality Transurfing backing me. I've got Anchor Church backing me. I just have the universe backing me, and whatever's backing me is backing you too. So don't stay on the floor. And if you have to be on the floor, do what you need to do, but get it together, because God's got big plans for you, and we're all going. So thank you so much for joining me. Follow me, subscribe, like, and leave your positive comments. I look forward to hearing from you. And thank you. And may you be at peace. Big hugs.